So one of the common issues that my clients have when they get a puppy is potty training. So I wanted to go over this little video and give some basic potty training, or some potty training basics. So one of the things that we want to do is identify the times the dog is most apt to have an accident or to need to go. We want to prevent accidents from happening. So after they wake up, after eating, and after heavy playtime are the 3 times they're most apt to need to go. So as soon as they wake up, you should pretty much take them outside right away. Once they, if they're get done eating, usually about 5 to 15 minutes after they eat, they're going to need to go. So about 5 minutes after they eat, I would take them outside. Just get in a habit of doing that. And after he wakes up, I pretty much take him out there right away. So those 3 things are important to do because that's going to cut down on your ability. If your dog has an empty bladder, then you can let him play in your living room and other areas where you're not worried about him having an accident. The general rule of thumb is the dog can hold it for 1 month of age equals 1 hour that they can hold it, except for when they're asleep. When they're asleep, they can hold it a little bit longer because their metabolism slows down. So at his age, right now he's 2 months old, he can only hold it 2 hours max. So we want to, a general rule of thumb, take them out once an hour. So just schedule something on your phone so that you remember to do that. Now, a lot of people also take the dog just right outside. As soon as they get off the deck or those bricks, they put the dog down, and that's where the dog starts pottying. Then later on in life, they call me up and they go, can we get our dog to potty somewhere else because he's killing all the grass right here, right where we walk off the deck. Take your dog to where you want him to potty. Have him on a leash. What I usually would recommend is having 5 treats. If he goes on the bullseye in the area that you want him to go, then he gets 5 treats in a row. Business. Business. This is the word that I use for my dog. So the second the treat touches his lips, he hears the command word. And this is not just for potty, for anything. So business, 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 business. So he's like, wow, I just got the mother load of treats. What did I do? Well, then he potties like a couple feet away from there. Maybe he only gets 4 there. And then the middle of the yard is 3, 2 is close to the house, and 1 is just right next to the deck. Now, if you give him the ability to go wherever he wants, he's going to go pretty much wherever he wants. That's why I would recommend for a week or 2, have him on a leash, take him to the specific area in the yard that you want him to go, which should be far away from your house. Ideally, it's better for you, but in the wild, they will go as far away from their den as reasonability will allow. And so this way, we get him used to going in a specific area, and that way he doesn't ruin the rest of your yard. Now, he will later on go kind of in different places, but you can create a habit which will help you a lot down the line. So when we train the dog, a lot of people go out there and they talk to the dog as if it speaks English. Go make a potty. I want you to go potty. You haven't potty yet. I'm not going to let you inside because you haven't made a potty yet. But the dog doesn't know what the word potty is yet at this age. And so if it's potty or if it's business or whatever the word is, the second the dog starts, we want to say the command word. And then as soon as, now sometimes you'll tell the dog is doing kind of like a figure 8 serpentine movement. That usually means they're going to poop. Or if they're sniffing the ground in the house, they get up and suddenly walk away and start sniffing the ground. That's usually an indication the dog's looking for a place to go. I would immediately take him outside sniffing. My dog, I have a puppy playpen. When he's in there and he wants to potty outside, he will make a fuss. He'll start whimpering and whining. So then I pick him up and take him, or make sure don't pick him up, let him through the baby gate to the fencing. But then you take him outside and give him an opportunity to do it and richly reward him. So as soon as he starts going potty, we say the command word, business. And say it quiet enough. If you say it too loud, sometimes the dog will stop pottying real quick and come over to you to get the reward. So say it when you're giving commands, you want to say them consistently the same way. Hey, buddy, can you hold off on the train for a second? If we say potty, 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 the variation in that causes the dog to have confusion. So keep the inflection in your voice consistent. If you want to say potty, that's fine, but everybody should say the same inflection so he understands it the same way. So as soon as he starts going, we say potty. As soon as he finishes, we walk over and we should stay with him. You should probably keep him on a leash for the first week or so. And then after that, maybe every other time he's on a leash. And this gives you the ability to get him used to going in that area. And then eventually when he's off the leash, that's where you do the 5 treats, 4 treats, 3 treats. But as soon as he gets done pottying, we pop the treat in his mouth and simultaneously say potty. And then I pet him a little bit, give him a reward. So, pet him in his favorite spot so he understands, hey, this is, man, I go inside and nothing happens. They pick me up maybe and take me outside. But if I go outside, I get treats, I get attention, and I hear this word potty or business or whatever it is. So doing it once an hour and after those 3 times is really going to put your dog in a position to succeed. And then eventually you get to the point where he does whimper in the kennel, in the play pen when he wants to go. So we take him outside. Now, if we're near the playpen and he goes on the playpen, like on the vinyl flooring, we just let it happen. But if he goes on the puppy pad, we would also say the potty command word and reward him for going on there. It's a lot more convenient when they go there. So that's basically some basics on potty training. One thing we never want to do is never yell at the dog or punish the dog for having an accident in the house. The dog has an accident in the house, it's our fault because we put the dog in a position where he could have an accident. So, and if you yell at the dog for having an accident in the house, the way the dog hears that is I'm being yelled at for peeing, not for peeing in the house. So I'm just not going to pee or let the humans know I have to pee. That makes potty training much, much worse. So you never want to do that, and the old wives' tale of rubbing the dog's nose in it has been clinically proven to actually teach the dog to run and hide and not tell you when it has to go either. So never do those things. With potty training, I know it gets frustrating, but you really want to focus on the positive and rewarding the dog for doing it the way you want. When it does what you don't want, pick it up, take him outside. Also get, I use Oopsie, I think is what it's called. I get the green spot, but get something that has an enzyme that breaks down to clean up after it has an accident. Clean it up. There's some stuff that will stain your carpet, so you might want to do a carpet test in a corner or closet or something like that. But get some stuff and clean it up, because otherwise if it smells like urine, that attracts them to come back more often. One last little trick that I remembered for the puppy pad, sometimes you could take the puppy pad, take it outside and rub it, a fresh one, on grass and then put it down. So that smells a little bit like grass and like nature, and that will sometimes motivate them to go. You could dab a tiny little bit if they have an accident, you're pulling out the next one. You could take the puppy pad and put your finger around it and then dab just a little bit in the center and then put that one out so it has a little bit of a smell of his urine. But that and the rubbing on the grass will help make it a little bit more incentive. If your dog chews puppy pads, I'm putting this on Quest Ed, which is up here on my website. Maybe it's on this side, I can't remember. But I'll do a video on it. But what you want to do is timing. So what I do is I have a security camera, so I can watch my dog from my phone. So what we did was we put the puppy pad, because he gets in a habit of, all of a sudden I'm going to start shredding the puppy pads. So what I did was we just put a fresh puppy pad down, watched him from the next room. As soon as he walked over to it and started to, my apprentice ran in there and went, "Tss," and startled the dog. He walked away. We did it about 2 or 3 times, and now he doesn't cheer them up anymore. So as soon as he starts doing that, set up your phone, your smartphone, and Skype yourself onto a tablet and just sit right outside the room silently and wait. And you're just kind of setting him up for as a sting. But as soon as he does go in and chastise him, I use the hissing sound. As soon as he walks away, then just turn around and walk away. Reset it up. If it's really destroyed, pick it up, put a fresh one down. But if you catch him 2 or 3 times, the first couple times he does it, you'll nip that in the bud. But once they get in a habit of doing it, it's really hard to fix that one. So these are some potty training basics for a puppy.